So here, let's practice what we call rationalizing the denominator, right? So here we have the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, and once again we multiply straight across. So on top, on the numerator, we get square root of 12, and down here we get the square root of 9, which is 3. Now let's pause for a moment, because the square root of 4 is 2, right? So let's see what would have happened if I would have broken down the square root of 12, right? So square root of 12, we can do 4 and 3, because those are the two numbers that I just multiplied together to give me 12, right? And that 4 we can further break down to 2 and 2. I got a pair of 2's, and that 3 stays inside. And so the final answer for this one would have been 2 square roots of 3 over 3. Okay, which is the same thing. Now at this point, if before multiplying by 3, if I would have simplified this, if I would have said that's 2, then I would eventually get the same thing, 2 square root of 3 over 3. Now let's look at this next problem here, right? So this next problem, if I want to solve for x, that means I have to divide by the square root of 3. Remember, what you do to one side, we must do to the other side. So here, I get x as 12 over the square root of 3. Now, if I want to rationalize this, then simply multiply by the square root of 3, both top and the bottom, right? So here, in the numerator, I have 12 times the square root of 3, and in the denominator, this root 3 gives me root 9, but the root 9 is 3. And then we can further simplify, right? Because 12 divided by 3 is 4, so that whole thing becomes 4 square roots of 3. All right, so here we are. So once again, if I want to solve for x, we're going to divide by root 2, right? So we have x equals, and that looks like 4 root 6 over root 2. Now, yes, we can rationalize, right? And simplify that way. Or notice how we have a square root in the numerator and a square root in the denominator, and we can actually simplify these. So square root of 6 divided by square root of 2 simplifies down to the square root of 3. And so my answer for this one would become 4 square roots of 3. Okay. Let's look at this one. So here we have divided by root 5, divided by root 5. So this is what it looks like. So x equals 2 square roots of 30 divided by square roots of 5. And once again, notice how we have a square root 30 on top in the numerator and a square root of 5 in the denominator. Now, because we are able to simplify these, we can go ahead and simplify or divide these out. And so 5 goes into 36 times. So we end up with 2 square roots of 6. Moving on. So here, divide by root 2 on both sides, and I get x equals 36 over the square root of 2. Now here, notice how there is no square root on the numerator. So here we're actually going to have to rationalize the denominator. So you multiply both the top and the bottom by root 2. And the numerator on the top, we have 36 times root 2, and in the bottom, we have 2. The reason we have 2 again is because if I were to multiply those two, don't care about the number that I get, right? Because whatever that number is, I got by multiplying 2 and 2. So that set of 2 makes a 2 on the outside. There's nothing left on the inside, so I'm left with this 2. And here I can further simplify because I have a 36 on the numerator and a 2 in the denominator. And so that's telling me take half of 36, which is 18 square roots of 2.